The remake. Two words that, depending on the person and country, can either bring happiness or fear in the deepest depths of their soul. From the United States to Japan, east to west. United, more like untied. But how does anime fit in this equation? Was that good?
Yeah, that was great, Mr. Herzog. Thank you for that.
I could keep going with my monologue.
No, I think we could just end it there.
I really do have informative information for your fans.
No, for really, because I'm like really behind schedule. So if we could just like, add it in, Jay, roll the intro now. In the year of our Lord and Savior, Lo be the Base Gods 2025, entertainment is no stranger to the remake. Sheesh. Even saying this sends chills down my spine, and not in a good way. If we look up the definition, a remake is to make something again or differently, or in this case, a movie or piece of music that has been filmed or recorded again and re-released. Pretty self-explanatory. The industry has been remaking shows and movies left and right for as long as I can remember. It's only the past decade or so where we've seen a higher output of them. Disney is pretty much exclusively that now, and doesn't show any signs of changing their business practice. As long as they keep making money, the longer they'll continue to tickle that nostalgia bone, tricking consumers into seeing them every single time. Why create new, original ideas and waste tons of time, resources, energy further displaying why we're the king, when we could just remake what already worked for us? 2D animation doesn't hold up anymore. Let's completely strip the magic from those movies and bring them to life with soulless, desaturated, live-action, realistic CG slop. Wait, they're making a live-action Moana now? Yep, they're butchering their computer animated catalog now, and it looks and sounds exactly how you'd imagine, shite. But that's a whole other can of worms I don't plan on opening today. Anyway, when it comes to remakes, anime has had a way higher success rate compared to the American film industry. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Goated. Hunter x Hunter 2011? Goated. Pluto? Technically not a remake, but an adaptation of the last canonical arc in the original Astro Boy manga that Osamu Tezuka never got to finish. I mean, it's Naoki Urasawa, so you already know it's goated. Another one of my recent favorites, Urusei Yatsura 2022, an overlooked series that barely made noise despite it being the blueprint for a lot of tropes we still see in modern shonen. But what other series deserve remakes? This is a highly discussed topic within the community on social media, but everyone always mentioned the same shows. Now that wouldn't be bad necessarily if the shows they named weren't flat out wrong. So I, JAYTASTIC, the voice of reason, am here to name shows actually deserving of a remake. Ones that never got its proper justice the first go around. And I got some picks you wouldn't expect, so without further ado, let's start with number 1. Oh, great. Not saying that is me being annoyed, that's literally the mangaka's name, don't get the wrong idea. Ogure Ito, better known by his pen name, Oh Great, has been in the industry for as long as I've been alive.
Damn!
Notoriety-wise, he's not a nobody, but he's also not Kubo or Oda. Oh Great is smack dab in the middle, more in the territory of if you know kind of thing. He entered the scene in the mid-90s, creating mainly hentai manga, his first being a series called September Kiss and a short anthology series called Silky Whip, the first of his work to be translated and brought over to America. But he wouldn't reach critical acclaim until the release of Tenjou Tenge and Air Gear. Oh Great's still active to this day, recently illustrating the manga version of Bakemonogatari and his newest manga, Kaijin Fugeki. But let's focus on his two most popular series. When I think of anime that got done dirty, these two always come to mind. More so Tenjou Tenge than Air Gear. I was first exposed to both shows through my best friend, back in middle school, in 2007.
Damn!
Yeah, 18 years ago. With Tenjou Tenge, he showed me the episode 2 fight between main characters Nagi and Takayanagi, with Nagi getting his shit rocked, vomiting all his insides out. And that last frame of Takayanagi in his rage state was forever burned into my underdeveloped little kid brain. Thanks, Nolan, fuck you. Fast forward to my adult years, one random day I decided to revisit the series and watch it all the way through. And after episode 2, it goes downhill fast. You see, Tenjou Tenge got the short end of the stick in both the manga and the anime. A huge staple of O Great's works is his usage of sex. The way he implements it as a positive or negative motivator for his characters and story is what set him apart from the competition, which was most prevalent in Tenjou Tenge. O Great was able to gain a cult following of people who really loved his unique style. But when the manga got its first English physical translation, the volumes heavily censored the source material, and CMX, the company in charge of handling the release, was to blame. Their reasoning was so that it could be advertised in bookstores without shrink wrap, as a lot of mature manga were sold that way. This, of course, sparked outrage within the fandom, and the company received massive backlash. As damage control, CMX announced in 2007 they would change the rating of the manga to mature, with the caveat of it still being lightly edited. But the damage was already done. CMX went defunct 3 years later, handing the rights over to Viz Media. It wasn't until then that Viz finally released the full Contact 2-in-1 edition, promising the original uncensored, unedited version that fans were so desperately craving. So rare that if you were to buy it now, it's $325? Why is it so expensive? This is the sole reason to why Tenjou Tenge's anime should be remade. Just like its manga counterpart, the anime was heavily censored as well. Like I said before, sex and Tenjou Tenge go hand in hand, and it serves as a major plot device throughout its run. You can't have one without the other, otherwise, narratively, it's not the same. You can clearly tell the manga and the anime are two completely different entities. Plus, for some reason, the anime put a lot more emphasis on Nagi and his overall character, which was weird. Also, the anime only adapted a third of the manga, and the original material gets crazy after where the anime ends. If the show was to get remade all the way through, with no censoring, we're looking at a top tier O Great manga adaptation. There's honestly no better time than this day and age too, especially since interspecies reviewers and Nukitashi the animation exists now. With Nukitashi, these kids get it in at school, get it in on the streets, get it in at the park, on Ferris wheel seats. If we could get shit slop literally no one asked for, with high schoolers inhabiting a sex island, showing non-stop in broad daylight, full-on, uncensored, peen-vagine intercourse on live Japanese television, then we could get an actual good anime where sex serves a real narrative purpose in the story, like Tenjou Tenge. I know I didn't really bring up Air Gear because it got the more faithful adaptation of the two. It just didn't get adapted 100% as it was still serializing. And like with Tenjou Tenge, after where the anime stops, the story gets even more insane. For some reason, shows didn't get season 2s back then, and the medium wasn't as popular as it is now to warrant more material being adapted. So yeah, both shows are more than deserving of a modern update. When I think of series that stand the test of time, Slam Dunk is definitely one of those stories. No matter what time you read this series, it's never going to feel outdated or not fresh, which just goes to show the amazing skill set of the mangaka Takahiko Inoue, a skill set he took and somehow perfected even more with his next series, Real. This man is the king of basketball manga, nobody's doing it like him. I firmly believe that Slam Dunk is hands down the best sports manga and best basketball manga of all time. Even better than Kuroko, go argue with a wall, I said what I said. It doesn't need bullshit powers to keep the readers attentive. It's 100% real, bare bones basketball. And it's just as intense, can hold your attention, the art is cinematic and full of energy, and it gets better as the manga continues. Plus a benefit of more realistic ball, the emotional weight of each game hits way harder than if it was the opposite. Numerous times during my read through of the manga, I was on the verge of tears, whether it was the wins, the losses, Sakuragi's character growth, different character interactions and flashbacks, it didn't matter. Slam Dunk is overall an extremely emotional story. Sure, the beginning is kind of shoddy due to Inoue not knowing where he wanted to take the story. But after Ryota's introduction and Mitsui's fight with the main cast before rejoining Shohoku, that's when the series really kicks into high gear. Now, I think we can all agree that the original 90s anime is a classic. Its first opening alone is iconic, still being listed in top anime opening videos and referenced in newer shows. The fact Slam Dunk is still one of the most popular manga series to this day says a lot, even more evident with the release of the first Slam Dunk back in 2022, performing extremely well in the box office, which is why I thought if the movie did well enough it'd warrant more of the Shohoku boys in the modern day. Like with an anime remake, maybe? Think of any memorable moment from the manga. Sakuragi's first slam dunk, Mitsui seeing Anzai for the first time in years, Rukawa's talk with Sendo, Sakuragi buying his iconic Jordan 1s, the Inter-High final match versus Sano, Rukawa and Sakuragi's high five. Imagine all of that with an updated fresh coat of paint. Non-stop, trend-worthy, back-to-back, peak. The manga is still ranked in the top 10 most popular series on my anime list, for good reason. Plus, the hype and demand for more slam dunk media is clearly there. If it were to get a remake with modern, fluid 2D character and intense b-ball animation, it could stand toe-to-toe with whatever show is airing alongside it, and further prove why slam dunk is leagues better than Kuroko. Simple! I understand the appeal of Kuroko being silly, over-the-top powers for something as normal as basketball is a funny juxtaposition. Also, I guess it's one of those series full of quote-unquote hot guys where women make up majority of the target audience. But outside of that, what else is there to rave about? I've already read the upper echelon of basketball manga. Why subject myself to the scraps? Soberly, do I look like a peasant to you? And you may be thinking I'm looking at it from a biased point of view, which I am, but it's true. It's pretty clear whenever the question of what's the best sports manga is brought up, Slam Dunk is always named, and not Kuroko. Inoue is just the GOAT. You can't deny it. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. I won't ramble too much on this pick, but in my opinion, out of all the anime mentioned, Soul Eater has the highest chance of getting remade. Just off the strength of Fire Force's final season wrapping up next year, so we might get some kind of announcement regarding future Soul Eater content. And the fact that both series are connected. Spoilers for the end of Fire Force, so I guess you can just skip to this time code right here. Essentially, Fire Force is an in-universe fairy tale within Soul Eater, which Spirit and his ex-wife are reading to their child, a very young Maka Albarn. So who knows, maybe if they add these bits into the final season we might get an announcement. Either Bones could remake it or hand it over to David Production. I would lean more towards David Production since Bones is currently animating Gachi Yakuta. We shall see though. There are countless shows that could be up for debate for a remake. In that same vein, there are countless shows that don't need one. So let's talk about Naruto now. I could count on 4 hands the amount of times I've seen Naruto as a contender for remake potential anime. This is also due to the fact that a 4-episode continuation of new content was teased back in 2023 in celebration of the anime's 20th anniversary. We even got a little PV around that time of what the episodes might potentially look like. And if I'm judging solely from those clips, yeah, they can keep it. In case you weren't paying attention to the series I named, most of the shows didn't get a full adaptation of their respective source material, hence why I named them for this list. Even the one that did, Slam Dunk, is timeless enough to where it can be readapted in whatever period and not lose the magic of what made it special in the first place. And I don't think Naruto has that same benefit. When the original PV released, numerous posts were made comparing moments from the OG anime and the new PV. And I hate to be that person, but the original looks way better. Why do you think Rock Lee taking his training weights off trends on Twitter every so often? Not because it's a pivotal moment for Lee, but the animation is insane. A lot of the OG fights fire on all cylinders. The fight animation, staging, fight choreography, the camera work also gives the fight scenes a chance to breathe, allowing viewers to clearly read every moment without confusion. And the shot composition lets you soak in every single environment around the characters. A lot of intent was put behind every single moment despite the lack in technology. Put these next to any modern shonen fight scene and they still hold up, even overshadowing some. And that's largely in part to their simple yet effective approach. Easy to follow, visually pleasing to the eye, amazing color theory. Now take all that, drown it in layers of compositing, and you get the harsh JJK Season 1 level mess that is the 20th anniversary PV. You would think the advancement in tech would give a leg up over the original, but that's not the case. Kishimoto's art style is just just too simplistic for more modernized animation. Now you may be asking, what about Bleach or One Piece? Those two were airing the same time as Naruto, why do they get a pass? Well, it's not a problem for them because Kubo and Oda's styles are more detailed and dynamic. The 1000-Year Blood War has been amazing, and the current One Piece arcs look stunning. Kishimoto definitely has the flattest style of the three artists. Since that PV, we've gotten sparse updates on the episodes. The studio wants to give as much quality as possible to please fans. Honestly, I don't think it'll hold a candle to the original, but we'll see. The idea of remakes isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just needs to be for shows that actually make sense. And I feel my picks are perfect for one. So the next time we think about what show needs a remake, let's think of series similar to the reasonings listed for my picks. And for the love of God, cancel that CG Fist of the North Star remake. Smash the computers, burn it, dump it, get the pencils and paper out, start over. If you're not Studio Orange, don't even think about opening any type of Autodesk software or Blender. Dame. If you do, you're gonna catch this Hokuto 100 crack fist to the body. But yeah, that's the end. What anime did I name would you want to remake the most? What other shows have potential to be a successful remake in the modern day? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you rock with the video, leave a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you'll know every time I post a video. Until next time, deuces.